Alan! 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 Al! Alan! Alan! Alan!
It's July the 1st, 2023, and I'm about to embark on something called the Calendar Club Challenge. Basically what that is, it's running 1 mile for every corresponding day of the calendar month. So today, it's July the 1st, and I'll be running 1 mile today. Tomorrow, 2 miles. July the 3rd, 3 miles, so on and so forth. Hopefully ending on July the 31st with 31 miles. So I'm going to start this challenge by going to my local park run. Now technically that's 3 miles, not 1. However, if you add up all of the mileage for the entire month, 1 + 2 + 3 + 4 + 5, so on and so forth, that comes to 496 miles. Now I'm not saying I'm going to finish the challenge. However, if you get that close to 500 miles in a month, you've got to do the extra 4, right? So yeah, and you don't do the extra 4 at the end of the month. So I'm not going to do 35 miles last day of the month on the 31st. So it makes sense to do the extra 4 miles today on the first day of the month, where I've only actually got to do 1 mile.
But you're going to have that, like me, you're going to have that for 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, okay,
good luck, mate. Don't go too far back because we've got to go. All right.
Yeah, all right. Really good.
Okay, so Pitchcroft has 2 different courses. They have 1 3/4 laps of the Pitchcroft racetrack. They also have what they call the Horseshoe, which is like an out and back giant U, basically. They normally run that if there's other events going on at the racecourse and they don't have full access to the grounds. Of course, having to take it easy in light of the massive distances I'm going to have to cover later on in the month. Just about to hit the switchback now.
Double back on yourself, everyone. Great running, everyone. Well done. Great running. Fantastic. About halfway. Keep it going. Looking good. Well done. You're welcome.
Approaching the final switchback, and there's about 600 metres to the finish.
Thank you, Asha.
Cheers, guys.
Well done, everybody. Brilliant park running today.
Okay, so that's that done. 24 minutes.
No keeping out of order. Well done, my man.
So that's it, that's the park run done. That's 3 miles. I'm just going to head back to the car, and then I'm going to drive up to a very special location. You're right. I'm outside Sainsbury Shire Park. I used to work here in the early to mid 1990s. Worked here for about 8 years when I was a teenage lad and into my early 20s. I used to work the 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. shift, and then I used to run home, which was about a mile away. So that's the route that I'm going to do for my first mile in the July Calendar Club Challenge. Okay, so what are the rules for this Calendar Club Challenge? Okay, so as stated before, you have to run a mile for every corresponding mile of the calendar month. Today is July the 1st, so today I will be running 1 official mile. Now, I've already ran parkrun this morning, and I'm going to run another mile after this one. That will give me my 4 extra miles. The reason I'm doing 4 extra miles is if you add up all of the days of the month, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, so on and so forth, that comes to 496. So if, and it's a big if you get to the end of the month and you've done 496 miles, you can't stop there. You've got to do the 500. But your body is going to be that battered by doing those 496 miles to do it on the very last day of the month is a bit stupid, really. So I'm doing it on day 1, getting it out the way, and then hopefully, if I am in a position to complete the challenge, I'll have banked those 4 extra miles and got my 500 in. Okay, so the mileage has to be completed on foot. So you can run it, you can walk, you can jog, but every mile must be completed on foot. No bikes, no scooters, no skates. The runs, you can split them. You don't have to run all of the mileage in one go. So on July the 10th, I don't have to run 10 miles in one go. I could split that up into 2 5-mile runs if I wanted. July the 20th, again, I don't have to run the 20 miles in one go. I can split it into 2 10s or 4 5s. It's entirely up to you how you want to break that mileage up, as long as you complete it within the 24 hours. So like I said, every day when I was working my shift, I would walk to work at 5:30 in the morning, and then after my shift I would run the mile home to my mum's house, and I would do that every single day. That essentially was the start of my running journey, although I didn't actually take up serious running until 20 years later. Of course, back then you didn't have fancy trainers. I think initially I used to run home in my steel toe capped boots. And there you go, 11 Robber Drive. That's where I used to live. That's where I used to run from work to every single day. Okay, so that was just over 1 mile from Shire Park Sainsbury's to my mum's old house. She no longer lives there now. Now I have to run a mile back to go and get my car. Okay, so day 1 recap. Started the morning with my local park run. That's 3 miles. I then did my official 1 mile for July the 1st, first day of the calendar month. I then had to run a mile back to collect my car. So officially 1 mile done, 4 miles in the bank, hopefully for the 500 for the end of the month. I'll see you tomorrow.